been far too fucking long. My God. Hasn't it been a long time? Hello. Hi. I'm still here, still alive. I'm not about to abruptly leave the room and leave you all in great suspenders. I'm not about to do that. My God. I tell you something. I tell you. When you do a daily show, when you miss a couple of days, it feels like an eternity. Like the weekend genuinely feels like I haven't done what I want to do for ages. It feels like such a long time. I missed Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, really. Ah, horrible. But it's Monday and I'm back. Unfortunately, not unfortunately that I'm back. That would be kind of stupid. Unfortunately, Twitch trolled us hard. We had a wonderful web show. I actually had a fantastic web show with like 700 of you. It was awesome. Me and Ghosty kicked it back. Had a great time. Hawaii won the awesome transmog competition. And then Twitch didn't record it. Like the stupidest thing ever that can go wrong with a web show. All the preparation, getting everything ready. Have we got notes? Have we got subjects we want to talk about? Do we have a plan for the show? Have we got all the software and hardware ready to go? Is everything functioning correctly? Yes. Did Twitch record the show? No, it didn't. I've never had such a retarded issue with a web show, ever. I've had crashes. I've had Ghost unable to use Windows Media Player. We've had all those kind of problems, but I've never had the problem of, where is the web show? I came to edit it. Doesn't exist. It's gone. Which is a real shame, because on the web show, not only did we do all your transmogs, which were really fucking good. Some were terrible. Some were really bad. But some were good. Some were good. We also had Drama Saturday. Because I didn't do a daily on Friday, we had Drama Saturday. We had a whole section of the show dedicated to Drama Saturday. We had all this good stuff. We talked extensively about the 25 versus 10 man problem. And all of that is lost to the nether. It's gone. It's vanished. Ugh, no. Suck. Fucking suck. Yeah, Drama Saturday occurred. It happened. We did 3 drama stories. What a fail. It's just not what I needed. In a time when I couldn't put out footage, I did not need good footage to go missing. Oh my God. Terrible, terrible news. But if you watched it live, then you know I tell the truth. I speak you the truth. I do. I tell you as it is. And unfortunately, that is just what happened. I'm sorry. So there is a video going out today, which is going to be covering the 25 versus 10 man thing, where I'm kind of talking all solemn, you know, like, hey, this situation's kind of weird. And all this kind of stuff, slight American cheese on it. A little bit of smothered cheese. So that video's going up tonight. But what about the workshops? What about Drama Friday? I can't really repeat the stories we did on Saturday. That wouldn't make any sense, right? That wouldn't make any sense. Although there's like thousands of you out there who were like, dude, just do it again. Not going to do that. I'm not. I have plenty of other drama stories to go through. So we will be having Drama Friday catch up. If everything goes to plan. If everything goes to plan. Next Monday, as in a week from today, I will be live streaming every day for the month of February from 9 AM till about 6 or 7 PM. Daily will still continue. YouTube videos will still go out. I'm going to be working my ass off. I really am. I have quite a lot of things to pay for in the upcoming PreachCon, which means I really need to work hard. Very stupidly hard. So I'm going to be live streaming every day from next Monday. What date does that start? What date does that start? I'm not sure. It is Monday the 4th. From Monday the 4th of February, every day on this channel from 9 AM up until about 6 or 7 PM GMT, I'll be live streaming for you guys. We're going to be capping every single character in World of Warcraft. We're also going to be playing some other games. I've got a lot of games lined up for us to play. Ones with good story, which I'm really looking forward to. So that should be great times. I hope you guys can tune in with me and we'll have a blast and we'll have a chat and conflab and all that kind of good stuff. I've got a lot of workshops. As I had to leave abruptly on Wednesday, which I will address shortly, because I did address that again on the web show. Aren't you gutted you missed the web show? You should be there. You should be there live, and then you don't miss out on this kind of stuff. I will be doing Workshop Tuesday, tomorrow, and Workshop Wednesday to get us back on track, because I still have a ton of workshops flooding in. I have about 18 to go through at the moment, which is good for a good couple of weeks, but that still doesn't mean stop sending them by any means. We want to keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. So I'm definitely going to be doing workshops tomorrow and a workshop on Wednesday. Then we're going to have a normal Thursday. Then we're going to have a big Drama Friday to see us out as we start live stream February. All kind of got a rhyme to it, which is pretty cool, right? All that kind of stuff. So that's how we're going to catch up. Where did I go on Wednesday? Where did I go? I disappeared. And then suddenly stuff stopped on the YouTube channel. Luckily, Ghosty was able to pull off one of the most epic moments in Preach Gaming history when his second Warglaive dropped. It's not about the Warglaive dropping, it's the reaction. That face. Just look at that face when he sees that loot table. That is the face that made me laugh hysterically for a long time. A long time. And so many of you have seen that now, which I'm really happy about. So what we're going to be doing is this, okay? We're going to do the workshops, and then we're going to get back on track on Friday, then live streaming on Monday, and then everything's going to be cool, okay? You're still going to get the usual YouTube content as well. Where did I go? I got the knock at the door. If you were watching live at Workshop Wednesday, then you noticed a knock at the door. The door was ajar, and in came my wonderful fiancée telling me she needed me, briefly. So I shot out of the room. I told you guys I will be right back. Oh, pregnancy problems. Yeah, major pregnancy problems. It was quite grim. I had to come in and cancel the stream, which I don't like doing. I don't like having to cancel a stream midway. I think that's the first time I've ever done it in the middle of a cast. In the middle of a show where I've had to like, dudes, I've got to go. Shit's hit the fan. That's really bad. Emma was terrified. There was tears. There was worry. It was terrifying time. And we spent the next 9 hours in the hospital. 9 hours until we were finally sent home past midnight. And it looked like we were going to lose our little unborn baller. It was pretty grim. It was a pretty grim few days. So obviously my mind was elsewhere. I didn't really feel like being entertaining, as you can imagine. And unfortunately, we had to wait till Saturday to get some sort of confirmation on what the situation was. We were told there was about a 90% chance that our child was needing to be aborted. Yeah, we had to take medication or perhaps even surgery in order to sort this situation out. If you're not sure what I'm talking about because you're quite young, it was something called an ectopic pregnancy. Google it, Wikipedia it, tell you all about it. I did. That's how I found out what it was while they were trying to explain it to me. I was like, whoa, 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 doc. I'm a child of the internet. I'll Wikipedia it. I don't need your fucking advice. I don't need that. I've got Wikipedia. Shut up. So I started Wikipedia away. Read all about it. And on Friday, we returned to the hospital for another blood test. I tell you what, I could talk about it quite freely. Now, before they get to the end of this story, everything's fine, okay? The baller wins out, as always, all right? So don't panic. Don't panic. So you understand why I'm talking about this in kind of a cheery mood. The good guy wins. Spoiler alert, the baby wins, right? So the baby wins. So I'm kind of a sick bastard, some would say, and other people would say you're kind of an asshole. And some people would say I totally agree with you. I'm kind of interested in medical equipment. I like watching House. That's how I'll summarize it. I like watching House. All right? I like watching House. So when Emma was getting bloods and stuff taken, I really wanted to watch. And this woman was like putting her arm on me. She's like, excuse me, are you the kind of person who faints at the sight of blood? I was like, no. I want to get right in there. I want to see what the fuck's going on. I was like, no, I don't care about blood at all. Are you kidding me? I've been on Reddit. I don't care about blood. It's like SpongeBob SquarePants, right? I've seen Rambo 4. I'm okay with this situation. I want to get in there. So she's getting this like big fucking needle stuck in her arm, right? Like a junkie. And then all this blood like gushes. It's amazing how much that shit comes out of one vein. It was immense. It just went everywhere, and she's taking vial after vial of the shit. Emma's terrified, looking away, and you know the usual thing that people make a big drama out of getting needles. I've never cared about needles. I don't know why. It's not like I enjoy them, but I don't mind, and I kind of like watching it. I don't know. So when it all come gushing out, I was like, wow, a load of blood comes out really fast, doesn't it? And this woman was looking at me weird, because people are usually like throwing up, fainting. I'm like an inch away from the arm. I'm like right in there. And she's going, you really have no problem with this, do you? I'm like, no, not at all. Let's take some more. This is cool. I want to see more come out. So we had all this blood and stuff going. Emma's like slapping me saying, shut up, Mike. This kind of shit. So we did this on Friday. Then we had to wait like 3 hours for the results. The results were good. Something about hormone levels. Ladies, you may understand, and some men who've had kids will know about this hormone. I didn't know about it, but it's a hormone that doubles. Anyway, the hormone had doubled. Good news. But that didn't mean it was in the right place. Essentially, an ectopic pregnancy means the baby isn't in the womb. It's kind of done a super monkey ball and gone rolling around somewhere else. One lady apparently had a pregnancy where the baby was in the gallbladder. I don't know. I don't know how that happens, but it's kind of super monkey balled around there. So, so then it comes to the Saturday, and this is where the cool bit is, right? You're obviously terrified, but it's still kind of cool. It's the bit with scanning machines. Like, it's the bit in House where, you know, in House where they go through like 55 minutes of not knowing what's up, and then they put it in the Philips machine, as in the brand Philips. Somebody goes in a Philips machine, it tells you all the answers, right? So we're now getting to the scanning equipment bit. I'm really excited. Like, overly excited. And she jellies the belly up. I must admit, after we got the hormone thing back, our confidence level in everything being okay was about 90%. Just to put you in my frame of mind. After we got this back and it was well more than double, we were like, this is awesome. Everything looks pretty cool. So we're in the scanning room. And this is what happened. She jellies the belly. Get your jelly belly like you've seen on TV. She gets the scanner out. And it's too small to see. She's like, I think I can see it. Okay, so she turns the screen to me, and there's this little black sack thing, and she's like, I think that's it, but I can't really tell. Then she utters the most terrifying words Emma's ever heard in her life. We're going internal. We're going internal. We're going in. We're going in. We're actually going in. And Emma was like, oh, motherfucker. Seriously? We're going in? So she's going in. She's going in. She's no fear. This woman does it for a fucking day job, right? She does it for a living. She's going in whether you like it or not, right? So she's going in. She pulls out this device. Okay. The device is thinner than this. So imagine the device is that thin. And then Emma utters like one of the most embarrassing words ever. Hey, I don't have a small penis. I just want to point that out, right? But I have to, for the context of the story, guys, you with me. If your fiance or your lady friend says something like this in public, you're just instantly embarrassed. It's like that thin, right? It's like that thin. She goes, is that going to hurt me? Because it's quite wide. And this woman instantly looks at me, and I'm like, dude, what? Are you fucking kidding me? I was like, what are you talking about? And the woman actually says to her, you have had intercourse, right? Looking at me across the room like that. She goes, you have had intercourse, and gives me this look like that. And I'm like, oh my God. And I go, yeah, she's had intercourse. And she's like, okay, then it's not going to hurt. But Emma still looks terrified. Obviously, she doesn't want probes inside her. But Jesus Christ, that was really bad. Yeah, trolled big style. I was trolled. Anyway, not to be graphic, we go in. We're in, right? Like Commando SEAL team, we're inside. And she's roaming around, but again, being curious about the technology and the fact we've just seen this black sack thing, which was possibly the baby. Everything's looking good, right? We've got the hormones back, they're solid, and we've seen this thing, but it's not quite clear, but it's in the right place. So everything's looking good. Confidence level, about 90% again. Feeling pretty confident. So now I want to see the screen as she's kind of rummaging around down there, right? Because she's got this like, it's like a stick, and she's in, and basically she's just controlling it like some sort of military apparatus, okay? Imagine a mech. It's about the closest thing I can get. You just got this mech that's like shoved in there. She's giving it all this, and she's backwards and forwards. She's backwards and forwards. And I wanted to see the screen. So I move my chair, right? I'm like next to Emma, and I've got hold of her hand and stuff. I'm still being the gentleman. I'm still being a sir. But I kind of move my screen, move my chair a little bit forward so I can see the screen. The woman... It was like being in one of these college classes where someone catches you looking at somebody else's screen, right? You know you've all done it. You just look over, don't you? And you see somebody else looks like they're looking at something interesting. And so you kind of do this. And then they do that slow screen turn. You guys know what you mean, right? That slow screen turn, which is like... so you can't see. On purpose. It's like when they raise the newspaper right in front of their face. So you can't read what they're fucking saying. So this woman looks at me and I'm like, oh, wide-eyed, all technology and shit. She totally moves the screen dead slowly. And then she says these words. She goes, if you don't mind, I need to concentrate and focus on this because the baby's quite small. So I need the screen to myself. Like I was in her face. I was across the room, right? Like I was literally peering over her shoulder. So she's in there and she's doing the mech warrior business. She's all pretty cool. And eventually Emma's looking at me like, and then Emma says to me, what's wrong? And it's because I can't see what's going on. So my face is kind of like, I'm trying to see, but I can't see. And it's kind of like that waiting game. And she's like, what's wrong? Because Emma believes I can see the screen. I was like, I don't know. And then the woman's pressing this giant keypad. It looked like something for a kid. You know, kids have them big keypads with loads of big giant buttons. That's what this thing looks like. So she's pressing all these mad fucking buttons like she's playing whack-a-mole. And I didn't read the keypad. Rookie error. Rookie mistake. I did not read the keypad before I sat down, which now I will. I have learnt my lesson before I go into any sort of medical theatre, because those pieces of equipment are designed for morons, right? They are like foolproof. You should have a 2-second overview of how this thing works, and then you're good to go. It's basically a fucking picture taker, right? And if you can work a camera, you can work this thing. So I'm like, I didn't read the buttons. Arrgh. Anyway, it must have been 7 minutes. It's a long time when you're waiting for something like, is your child alive? Do you know what I mean? Oh, is it in the right place? 7 minutes is a long time. So 7 minutes in, Emma's getting the Mech Warrior treatment. She's judging my face that something must be wrong. And the only thing that was wrong is that I couldn't see anything. And then she finally goes, okay, here's the best picture. Turns the screen like a champ. You know, like you've just claimed like Grand Marshal. Do you know what I mean? You just won the world first DPS, and you sat next to someone, you're like, dude, look. It was that kind of turn of the screen, and she went, oh, there's your baby. Now, if you watch a second, you'll see it actually pop into view. Motherfucking baby is 7mm long. It's tiny, right? It's like my dick, according to Emma. She turns it, and it goes, fucking see this thing. Everything's awesome. Saturday, there was a web show. Yay! I text Ghosty immediately after. I was like, got the all clear. I can't remember what I texted him. It was something like, we're good to go, or the web show is a go. Which means things are good news. And I was more than happy to do a web show. And that's where I was. There you go. There you go. That's the story. That's the story, alright? So everything's fucking really cool. Oh, look at that effort. Got to try hard in the chat. Try hard in the chat. It's terrible. Okay. Trying too hard, never funny if you try really hard. Today's WoW subject. Let's get back onto WoW news, considering I'm doing workshops and shit for the next couple of days, and Thursday's going to be our other daily, and I'm all happy, and I've made a video, and I've got a big video that's like halfway finished for tomorrow. Yay! Everything's looking pretty good. Rerolling. How many of you have rerolled? All I want to know is, okay, chat. Because obviously the good guys over at YouTube can see the chat. I want you to answer this question with a number. With a number. If you have rerolled, how many times have you done it? When I say reroll, changed main classes. Now have a think about it. Have a think about it. And I just want you to say the number. If you have never rerolled from your main class, that would be a 0. Alright? That would be a 0. 1, 1, 1, 1. Oh my god. Holy binary code, Batman. 1, 1, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. 8. 8, Royderen. Jeez. 3, 0, 0. So many of you never rerolled. Although I bet some of you are repeaters. 6, 0, 11, 29. I don't believe you. 18. No way did you come up with number 18 that quickly. 4, 2, and change spec. Great, Grammy change spec. Oh, thought you just meant me mop. No, no, no. There's many times. Okay, so a big variety of people have re-rolled at one time or another. In fact, very, very, very few of us have ever stuck to a main class. Forever. Very, very, very few. I, in fact, don't think I know anybody now. Any of my friends lists of players who've played since vanilla, I don't think any of them. I'm trying to think of one. I think only Erebus, but he doesn't play anymore, so he don't count. Don't count. I think only Erebus, the warrior tank I played with in the Burning Crusade. I believe he was a warrior since he's turned the game on, and he's still a warrior to this day when he does occasionally log in, which is fine. I would say he was the only player who has ever not re-rolled. What does that say? Firstly, that a lot of people don't know what class they want to play when they start World of Warcraft. Major problem. But the emails I get are plenty of them. How can I stop re-rolling? People get stuck in this circle jerk of re-rolling all the time, and it's horrible. It's actually horrible because you don't feel like you're progressing. You actually invest so much time into the game and don't feel like you're getting anywhere unless you have a huge support structure behind you in terms of guild, good friends who are prepared to run old shit content with you. Because you've got to remember, when you're that guy who's just re-rolled and you expect people to help you do it, that's not really fair, is it? Because you're basically, you rely on people to run content they don't need, and that kind of sucks. It really does kind of suck. It's okay, because sometimes you have those friends who are willing to do that. As long as you are aware, they are doing you a massive favor by doing so. A lot of people forget that. I've seen a lot of people re-roll and get really pissed off when they didn't get all the help in the world. You're being a burden. I know, I've been there. I've re-rolled a couple of times for various reasons. Firstly, I changed from a dwarf warrior, the master race, to a priest, a troll priest. One, because warriors weren't needed, priests were. I did the flavor of the month reroll. I've done it, flavor of the month rerolling. I did it because I couldn't get anywhere on a warrior. If I would have stuck with it, if I would have been persistent and just stayed with it, I probably would have got somewhere eventually on my warrior, but I got further by re-rolling to a priest, recapping in vanilla, and started raiding almost instantly. I think I even joined a raid at level 58. I think I raided Molten Core at level 58. That's how quickly you can get ahead if you are a flavor of the month re-roller. I then re-rolled again in the Burning Crusade to a paladin. I went from a priest to a paladin with Ghosty. With the mighty Ghosty. Me and Ghost leveled our Blood Elf Paladins. Yes, I was a Blood Elf Paladin. As the day Burning Crusade came out, we ordered ourselves some big pizza. We queued up, we got the Burning Crusade, and off we went into the wonderful world of Blood Isle and got leveling there. And hated it. I detested my Paladin. I didn't like it at all. I re-rolled for the good of the guild. Good of the guild. In fact, let's ask that question again. I think that's pretty interesting. How many of you who have re-rolled, which is a lot of you, have re-rolled not because for yourself, but for the good of the guild? A 1 or a 0? That's all I want to see. 1 if you re-rolled because your guild wanted you to, or your guild needed it. And a 0 if you re-rolled just because you wanted to. 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. Ooh, fair balance actually. A lot of zeros popping up. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, so you can see many of us have fallen into that trap before, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. If you actually think about it, re-rolling for the good of the guild, thank you guys, that's awesome. If you re-roll for the good of the guild, you're actually shitting all over yourself, and lots of us do this. We get trapped in a situation where the guild's like, we really need healers. And because we love this game, which we do, and ultimately because we want to raid and we want to progress, we start doing things like re-rolling for the good of the guild. Oh, we really need Shaman. I will re-roll Shaman. I, being a good player, will re-roll Shaman for the good of the guild. And suddenly Shamans are nerfed. And now you're a bag of shit. This is what happened to me in Wrath of the Lich King. We were 2 warrior tanks. I would easily say we were 2 of the best tanks on the server. I think we were pretty incredible, especially as a team, which took us to the next level. Individually, great. Together, unstoppable. Unstoppable. I have no issue or ego saying that we were. It was an amazing tanking team. But we were 2 warriors in a time where having 2 warriors in the raid was a fail. A fail boat. It was a huge pile of dogshit fail. Yes, it was. Being 2 warrior tanks in a 25-man hardcore progression guild is a big bag of shit. One of us was going to re-roll. Guess who wasn't going to re-roll? Erebus. He'd never played anything other than a warrior and had no inclination of ever playing anything other than a warrior. He would say things like, we need a feral druid. Which we did. We needed a feral druid. We had Ghosty as a blood DK. We also had a paladin tank, which was awesome. But we didn't have a feral druid. Our tanking team was weak. And when your team consists of 2 people who are dedicated to having the best min-max possible setup, that is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. So I re-rolled to a feral druid. Very particularly for Sartharian 3 Drakes 10-man. We got the realm's second behind Method on Sartharian 3 Drakes 25 as me main tanking Sartharian, which was a pretty difficult job if any of you ever did it. Main tanking that boss with Vesperon's debuff was actually really hard. Had a lot of coordination needed. On 10-man, it was particularly tough because of one simple factor, HP. HP. You would get blasted by an attack that was almost impossible to survive if you didn't have an outrageous health pool. Me being the mighty Tauren, of course benefiting from massive amounts of HP, I was selected to be the Sartharian tank, and I was fine with it in 25 man, had all my macros set up and I was cool, I had no problem with it. 10-man, not so much. 10-man was very limited on healers. I believe we rolled 2 healers in 10-man because of the DPS requirement, and it just wasn't easy to be constantly topped, and I was at extremely high risk of death. Who wasn't at high risk of deaths? The one tanking class we didn't have, Feral Druids. Feral Druids had an outrageous HP pool. Anybody remember the old HP pool? Oh, Feral Druids would have something like, let's say in a time when a tank had, I want to guess here, I can't remember the exact values, let's say 30k, where a tank would have 30k HP, a Feral Druid would have 44k HP, a full 25% more HP. Fucking crazy. Absolutely crazy. They would easily have that much more HP in lesser or similar gear, which made them just amazing at soaking big giant hits. They were just amazing at it. So I, like a boss, re-rolled for the good of the guild to a Feral Druid, a class I had never really played. Kind of had some good ideas about. This is why people re-roll, right? You re-roll because you watch somebody else do something that you think is really cool and you kind of wish you could do it. One of the things I really appreciate about Feral Druids was that back then they had the very easy switch to DPS in periods where they weren't tanking. So if you were an off-tank Feral Druid, you could generate a shitload of threat through your own damage in Bear, which is one of the advantages Feral Druids had back then, and also quickly switch to Cat and do quite decent DPS as well. So that always intrigued me. Such a utility class. And as somebody who really loved being a linchpin part of the raid, having things like combat res, innovate, DPS, and tank all at our disposal was so tempting to me. So tempting. So when the opportunity came up, I was like, I'll re-roll. I'll do it. I'll be the hero. I'll do it. I re-rolled. Guess what happened? 1 week after I capped that character in 4 days, which at the time was like record-setting. Really record-setting. I no-lifed the shit out of it. 1 week after, they nerfed the HP of Feral Druids. They nerfed it to fucking crazy levels. Crazy fucking levels. They nerfed it way the shit down, so you were barely any different than a warrior. It was absolutely fucking atrocious. It was the worst day of my life. And it was a running joke in the guild is whatever Preach re-rolls, they will nerf. So hope he doesn't re-roll your class. It was a joke. It wasn't an ego thing. It was just good fucking fun. But I was so angry because I also realised the fundamental fact. I don't like druids. I don't like druids. That's why there's screenshots of me playing Moonkin in this is getting on to Ulduar times. In Ulduar, the first 2 bosses I Feral Druid tanked. I Feral Druid catted XT. I was a Moonkin on Mimeron, and I was a healer at Freya. I collected all the gear sets from everything. Anything that dropped was my loot. That's it. I was Ghost for a period of time. I was Ghost. And loot was to be mine, because I was Mr. Utility. Need an extra healer? Preach will go and re-roll. Preach will go and respec. Need an extra range DPS? I'll go respec. And I hated it. I mastered every single class. That was when I first starting to understand the mechanics of every single spec. It was probably thanks to that druid. My channel probably wouldn't have gone anywhere if it wasn't for my experience on that druid. But I hated it. Absolutely hated it and wanted to re-roll immediately. Which is why when the opportunity to join method came along, I didn't mind re-rolling to a Warlock. That didn't go well. Don't like Warlocks. Don't like Warlocks either. And by the end of Wrath of the Lich King, I was nicely back on my Warrior where I belonged and having a great time with it. So re-rolling. Like I say, a lot of you want to know how do I stick to a main class. Kind of hard, right? Look at the story I've just told you. I've re-rolled many times for many different reasons. At the time, re-rolling made sense. This is one of the problems with re-rolling. At the time, it seems like a good decision. And how do you know if it's a good or bad decision? That's the debate we're going to talk about today. And hopefully leave some comments for me in YouTube. And we'll talk about them on Thursday. One of the big things that I always regretted about re-rolling is that every time I re-rolled, I missed out on some tremendous reward for doing so. I missed out on all the legendaries, which I would have been selected for. I missed out on Thunder Fury because I changed to a priest. And it ended up going to other people. So I missed out on Thunder Fury, which I always regretted. I'm never big into gear, but I really understood why Thunder Fury was amazing for tanks. I understood it so much more than the other tanks that I craved it, even though I didn't play a warrior. I craved it because I knew how important that weapon was to a tank. It was ridiculous. I also missed out on things like Sulfuris. I missed out on Warglaives by being a pure tank, although I was a DPS before that. All this kind of shit. And at the time, it always seemed like a good reason. Then it came back to bite me in the ass. I re-rolled for the guild, they got nerfed, and I ended up stuck on a class that was still beneficial to the raid, but not in the way I wanted it to be. I wanted the Feral Druid that I played to be the robust tank when needed and down to DPS whenever. And ultimately, I ended up being a DPS full-time, which during my tanking phase of playing the game, when I loved tanking incessantly, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be a solid support tank who could switch to DPS when not tanking and switch back straight into bear. That's what I wanted. But Paladins had come into their own now. Paladins were one of the most powerful tanks of the whole expansion. So it made sense to roll with a Paladin tank, even if they weren't as good a player. That made sense. Feral Druid DPS was massively overpowered. Hugely overpowered in Ulduar. So everybody wanted me to be a cat, except me. Rerolling comes back to bite you in the ass. So there's a number of problems with rerolling. That one comes back to bite you in the ass. And ultimately, you don't progress. You also never get comfortable, realistically, unless you stick with a class for a very, very long time. A lot of the things we look at in the workshop from the pro players, which we'll be doing again this week, is how comfortable they are with their general class role, to the point where they don't really look at it at all. They don't care about what buttons they're pressing to DPS because they know it's right. They've done it for years. They know exactly what they're doing. It's not a problem. They don't even think about it. They just DPS to their max without trying. Therefore, they're much better at the encounters because they can focus entirely on the encounters while doing that thing. So how do you stick on being a main class? That's the big question. A couple of ways to think about this. One, you're unlikely to choose your eventual main class as soon as you play World of Warcraft. That's just not probably going to happen until you experience them all. And there's various ways of doing that. And the other one is, remember the repercussions of re-rolling. A lot of people don't want to re-roll, which I kind of find interesting. A lot of people don't want to re-roll. They find reasons to re-roll that sound good. But in the back of their mind, they kind of don't want to re-roll. So they do it anyway, because at the time it seems to fit. It seems to make sense. It's the final piece of the puzzle. What do we do about this situation? How do you stick with it? I would bear in mind, from my side of the debate, for sticking with your main, is re-rolling, especially Mr. Pandaria, is a pain in the ass. You get really far behind. You have to do things like your dailies again. You have to do those things on your main character. You do, really. You really have to do that kind of shit and get back up there. You also have to start from scratch with just gearing in general. You also leave behind the gear you may have already attained on your main character. A lot of guildies are going to be pissed off with you. Guildies do not like re-rollers. A lot of them will not like it at all, because everything you have on that character is just a waste. A total waste. It doesn't benefit the guild. In fact, you set the guild behind for a large period of time when you re-roll. Some other people re-roll for different reasons, such as, I had a bad experience. Usually not with that character. I had a bad guild experience, so I switched back to an old character and went elsewhere. I changed server, I thought I'd level an alt for a bit, and by the time you cap that alt, you are really, really far behind. Ugh. Terrible situation. These are the kind of things people re-roll for. The other third one I would say is the flavor of the month. I'm playing, say, a rogue, or you've been playing a rogue throughout patch 5 to patch 5.2. You always felt a little bit weak, although you shouldn't, and then suddenly you re-roll because you don't want to feel like a burden on the raid. Hey, my rogue isn't doing a lot of damage. Let me re-roll to something that is, let's say, Fire Mage, right? You make that decision to roll to Fire Mage, and next expansion, like we're going to see in 5.2, rogues get rebalanced and everything's fine again. And that's just the way the game works. One of the big things I point out now about Mr. Pandaria is Blizzard's done an amazing job in balancing all the DPS specs. They've done a really good job at it. I saw a chart recently of all the specs in the recent heroics. They were all pretty even. There was like 5k difference amongst the top and the bottom. That's amazing. So stick with your class. Reasons for, because this is a debate, right? Why should you re-roll if you are very unhappy with your class? And that's not just because the recount says that you're bad, right? Recount says I'm bad, it must be the class. I should re-roll. That's a balancing issue that'll get fixed. But sometimes you are very unhappy with your class or your role. Have you been healing for too fucking long? Tanking for too fucking long? Or DPSing for too fucking long? And you really, really want to try a different role. Really want to try it. That's a good reason to re-roll. If you are literally sick to fucking death of doing what you do in every single raid, perhaps your class has become stagnant in its mechanics. A lot of Disc Priests re-rolling, although Disc Priests are extremely powerful for the simple reason the playstyle is dog shit. Absolutely awful. But they're topping the meters. They don't care. They don't care. They want to play something else now. It's boring. Done. Tired. That's a good way to reroll. Another good reason to reroll is if you literally changed spec previously or rerolled previously and your new roll isn't working out for you. And there's various ways of coping with that situation as well, which is awesome. So I really want to see your debate answers for and against. A lot of you have re-rolled a lot of times. Some of you have never re-rolled. Have you never re-rolled but thought about it? Why didn't you? I want to know all this kind of stuff. I'm interested to know about re-rolling and give advice. There's a lot of people who ask me about re-rolling. So let's get the debate out there. Let's discuss it. And leave your comments in the YouTube comments so everyone else can read it and get a good idea. Don't be shy. Leave a comment. Throw your opinion in there. I'm going to take... I'm doing a quick one tonight because I'm going to cook a particularly lovely dinner for my fiance as a bit of a calming down after this weekend. I had a web show on Saturday which took up most of the day. Sunday I was kind of monged out. So I'm going to cook a lovely dinner like a sir tonight. So I'm going to take some quick questions. If anybody has any questions, I would love to answer your questions today because I've been away for so long. Preferably nothing crazy personal. I've kind of shared with you as personal as I'm going to get on the subject. Web show vid. Unfortunately, I've addressed this, Vinny. The web show vid is lost in the nether. Twitch did not record it. They did not record it. Nobody deleted it or anything. It just did not record, unfortunately. So there ain't much I can do about that. I'm sorry, Vin. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Who came up for the idea that Ellie Shamis need strong air buffs, not single target? I don't know. That was pretty crazy. That was pretty crazy. That was pretty crazy when I read that myself. Oh, chat going crazy. Zoning a Warlock, if you cast your dots and then cast Curse of Elements, do you have to recast dots like you do with Heart? No, Curse of Elements works like Sunder Armor. It will update on its own. It's just a debuff on the boss. Your dots will update automatically, so don't worry about that. Ideally, you should try and get it on early or use an aura of elements. I actually love aura of elements, depending on the spec you're playing, obviously. But yeah, it won't matter. It's a debuff on the boss. It's not a buff you're casting, so you're fine with that. Bitcher, I'm trying to progress my paladin further, and I am looking for things to do outside of raids. Not easy. I have got all the gear for 5-mans, and I feel comfortable in my DPS rotation. What should I do to be a better player? Practice, 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 practice. I would... what I used to do, and the last time I did this, I think, was during Kata, is... Oh, yeah, the last time I did this was on my warrior in Cataclysm. I did a tanking video. I literally brought along 4 retardedly geared people. It's not that easy to find them, but they'll be out there. Make friends with people. 4 ridiculously geared people on my tank. And I said, make this instance a mess for me. Do the stupidest shit you can possibly imagine. Put yourself in those kind of situations. Pick the most notorious heroic. Not easy in Mists of Pandaria. That is just the be-all and end-all of it. It's not easy to find a even reasonably difficult 5-man. It's not. Challenge modes, good place to do it. Challenge modes are kind of tricky on their own though. I would try and get people to put you in bad situations and work through it. It's always nice to do. And the other one is to get into challenge modes. If you're a tank, get into challenge modes. It's not about gear. You're not about gear. You're just trying to sort out how you play and deal with bad situations and cooldowns and stuff like that. Challenge modes are the place to practice right now. If you want to get much better at the game, get in the challenge modes, try them out. That's what I want you to do. I know how you feel about dailies. How do you feel about having to do dailies to get reps so you can spend your Valor points? Okay, I did dailies today, right? I was rendering out tonight's video, which was... It's about a 20-minute long video, so it took about an hour and a half to render. So I did my dailies. The Dominion offensive dailies I don't actually mind. What I do mind is the reputation involved with them and how little it increases. It's not a large increase by any means, considering the amount of daily areas there are. I was still really angry at the dailies. I felt literally bored to death, which I shouldn't do while playing a game. I felt so bored. And that's after coming... I haven't done dailies for over a month, I would say. I haven't done dailies for over a month. And today I just decided to remind myself about the dailies. I don't know why. It just came on me to do the dailies and Get them done on my warrior. I kind of want the revered on everything so I can get unlock the extra reputation bonus for all my alts. It just makes sense to have that. It's going to benefit me through most of the expansion. So I thought I'd do my dailies. I started off with the cooking dailies. That annoyed me. Which are actually the most fun dailies in my mind. That annoyed me incessantly. I don't know why. I just felt angry that I was doing them. I think that was what bothered me. I was angry at myself for doing this. Because you get kind of a small reward for doing it each time. And I definitely felt myself being part of the treadmill of just getting on with things in WoW. I didn't enjoy a single part of it. And I can't tell you how long it took me. Probably an hour. Maybe an hour and a half, literally. Something like that. The video was nearly done by the time I'd finished. I felt... The whole daily system bothers me. It bothers me. And you could say... You don't have to do them all at once, which is true. There's no doubt about that, but it just slows you down. Not that it bothers me now, being a month behind anyway. I felt angry at that was what I was doing with my time. I value my time quite a lot, and the dailies just do not feel like any idea of time. The fact that's where you need to unlock to buy gear with your points, your hard-earned points, bothers me more. It bothers me a great deal. It does. The dailies bother me quite a lot. And that was the true story of it. The whole thing about the dailies just doesn't sit well with me at all. Be it Valor points, be it the Elder Charms, be it the amount of reputation they give you. I don't think the Order of the Cloud Serpent's a bad way to go. There are optional extra dailies if you want to put in the extra effort, and they give you a ton of rep anyway. The rest of them, they feel like they're sucking my soul. They actually feel like they're sucking my soul, which is terrible. Yeah, the whole dailies thing. Yeah, I stopped being angry instead. I just do them. Yeah, that's what I felt like. I felt like the hamster on the treadmill. That's what I felt like. I felt like the hamster on the treadmill. Like I was being shooed into this area along with... There must have been a good 100 or so people doing the dailies around me. That's the feeling I don't like. It's that I was angry not at the dailies. I wasn't angry at the dailies. I was angry that I was doing them and perpetuating the cycle in almost becoming a statistic of how many people are doing the dailies so that Blizzard can turn around. One of the problems if you're going to get on with the dailies is that you use that statistical data and they can actually say, you guys are just moaning about dailies, but look here, there are thousands if not millions of people doing the dailies every day. On average, this is how many dailies are done every day. So it's a system that works. People are getting on with them. There's plenty to do. I felt angry at that, at being part of that statistic. I felt like I was part of that statistic instead of boycotting them. If you could organize it in WoW, the best way to change this daily system, which I truly believe is a detrimental system to the whole game. I didn't enjoy a single part of doing the dailies whatsoever. And if you do enjoy dailies, cool. I wonder what it is you enjoy about them. I truly do. But I didn't enjoy it. But I'm now a part of the statistics of people that are doing dailies. And if we do want the daily system to change and just to be different and to be extremely optional, dailies should be an optional aspect of the game. Completely, 100% optional. They shouldn't reward things like Valor purchasable items, Valor points, Elder Charms. That whole reward system is bogus. Doesn't work. For me, if they were completely optional, I wouldn't care. Sometimes I feel like doing dailies. I've been there. I do. Sometimes I feel like doing dailies. I don't mind. I've got an hour and a half to kick back. I'll go and do some Tillers dailies. I'll go do some Anglers dailies. I'll go and do some Shadowpan stuff because I'm kind of interested in their rewards. Like Archaeology. Archaeology, 100% optional. The only problem with Archaeology is when they add items that you need or are really good. Like the epic trinkets and the swords and stuff like that. That sucks. Archaeology is kind of interesting. Some days I feel like I want to farm the Scarab Mount. Sometimes I feel like that. I don't all the time. But when I do, I'm happy to go and do it. It's my choice. It just doesn't feel that way right now. Yeah, if you could organise it, I would love to boycott them. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And every time we do a daily, we add to the statistics of how many people are doing dailies all the time. Look, here, millions of people do them every day. They're good content that's filling players' time. They're enjoying that time in the game. We're not. Or at least I'm not, anyway. I don't feel like I'm doing it. Stop doing anything in the game. You don't need to do dailies. I feel like I have to do dailies though. I would love to boycott them, but it's just not reasonable to do so. Exactly. You're part of the treadmill. It's a trap. It's a vicious circle. I felt that's what I was angry at today. I haven't done dailies in over a month. I decided to do them today. I did Claxy. I did the Golden Lotus. I did Anglers. I did Sat Cloud Serpent. I did Tillers. I did the new ones, the Dominion Offensive. And I just felt I was part of the statistics. And that's what made me angry. Is like I'm perpetuating the cycle. The more we do dailies, the more the dailies they're going to add in. And that was it. I just didn't enjoy him. I just don't do dailies. Well, that's good for you, man. About 15 total. What do you think about 25-man changes? There's a video going out tonight. So I'll finish on that question. There is a video going up in about an hour, which is me discussing the 25-man change, the good sides and the bad sides. It's got to be a fair shout, all right? It's got to be a fair shout at this change. Good side and bad sides. I don't want to be completely one-sided. I've no doubt somebody will read into it that, oh, this is totally one-sided. I tried to balance it out and look for the good and the bad. But it's a video that's coming up in about an hour or so. All right, guys? So thank you so much for this welcoming back daily. I had a great time. And tomorrow it's Workshop Tuesday. Workshop Tuesday and Workshop Wednesday. We're going to get through lots of workshops. We're going to be hopefully looking at some more Throne of Thunder bosses. We're also going to look at some heroic endgame bosses for those of you getting up to that kind of content. And of course, using your user-submitted content as well to see if we can help you out. All right, guys? Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to go away and cook, be a chefy, and I will see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. GMT. Take it easy, ballers, and have a great day.